Hey guys, today we're talking about failure and why it's okay. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sensei Frangella. I run a martial arts studio out in Queen Creek, and I am here just to give you guys advice and my tips and my tricks that I've found out along the way. These are geared towards our parents out there to help parent young athletes or just kids in general. And these can be tips great for adults as well that just need some motivation or need that little guiding light for some aspects of life, all right? So let's get into it. Failure. If I looked at the Google definition of failure, what it's going to tell me is the lack of success. And in nowhere does that state or imply that it is forever or permanent or absolute. It is the lack of success with one simple task. I fail every day. I like to shoot hoops with my little wrappers and stuff in the trash can, and 9 out of 10 times I miss because I do karate, not basketball. And that technically is a failure, but I don't let that beat myself up. All right, I don't let that define me. And more often than not, we'll let our failures define us, and that's a terrible idea to do. And we'll touch base on that in a couple different scenarios and examples later on in the video. All right, but just talking more about failure and what failure really is. Failure is just a learning opportunity and a chance for me to look at why I failed and then make adjustments moving forward. So talking about it from an athlete's perspective, for a martial artist, this could be our belt exams and our tip testings. For any other athlete, this can be your big games, your competitions, or the tournaments that you're competing in, right? So let's say I go, and for a martial artist doing a belt test, it's 3 to 4 months for a lot of the underbelts. Let's say you go through that 3 or 4 month process, you get to that exam and you fail your exam. Well, many of us are gonna say, well, I suck, I can't do it, I'm not meant for this. But that's not the case at all. Really what we should do is we should look back on those last 3 or 4 months and ask ourselves 2 questions. Did I apply myself and ask the right questions when I was being taught the stuff? And then did I apply myself and really put in 100% of my effort when I was practicing that material on my own? And we can apply this for jobs, education, relationships as well. This isn't just for a martial artist, right? This is for anybody. It's for anyone who experiences failure, which is probably 99.9% sure all of you. And all of us, and myself. So, if I go through those 3-4 months of training, and I look back on it and I go, man, I didn't really apply myself in classes. I could have focused better. And I look back and I go, I didn't really practice at all, or I did, but it was the bare minimum, and it wasn't really concentrated, full on. We call it black belt practice, but good practice. I would just kind of go with the motions, all right? Well, we can look back on that and we can extrapolate that I didn't do the right thing, and that is why I got to my failure. And now we can change something to change the result. Something my dad taught me early on with this stuff is the definition of insanity. So I might be paraphrasing this, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So let's say I add 2 plus 2, what am I gonna get? 4. And I really wanna get to 10. Well, I'm gonna try it again. 2 plus 2, 4. 2 plus 2, 4. 2 plus 2, and you get where I'm going, right? I need to change something. Maybe I go 8 plus 2, that equals 10. But that's not it. I can also go 2 plus 8, or 5 plus 5, or 10 plus 0, or 5 times 2. There's so many ways I can get to that result. There's not just one single path there, but something needs to change. If what I was doing didn't get me there, I need to fix something. And that's why failure is good, because I can look back on what I did, and if I don't find the holes in my training or my reasoning or my education or whatever it is, then I ask somebody. I get feedback. I get someone that's smarter than I to look at that data and then to help give me an answer. And maybe I just don't know, and maybe no one can tell me. Well, now this next 3-4 months, I know to focus on 1 or 2 of those things. And for an athlete, I can look at how I'm going about my development. So that's when I'm being taught by someone or coached by someone for a specific skill. And then how I go about my personal training, which is when I'm practicing my skills at home or on my own time without someone there, verbatim telling me what to do. So anyways, failure is not bad. Failure is not wrong. Failure is a part of life. And if we look at failure as a giant negative, we can really have that hit to our self-esteem and our confidence, and that can affect how we train and how we progress forward. So you guys, to wrap it all up, failure is not bad. Don't get yourself all beaten up about it. And I'm gonna go on a tangent here really quick. This school, my martial arts studio here, has been here since 2015. So the last 7 years, I've had the luxury of watching, families and children kind of grow up and come through here in different generations. And I've taught for a few years before that as well. But more recently, I've noticed that our younger generations, the younger students, will be afraid of failure from the get-go. 7 years ago, students would fail 2 or 3 times before they kind of I started hearing that negative self-talk of I suck, I just can't do it. And by no means is 2 or 3 times enough failures to go, yeah, you suck, you can't do it. Like, everyone's different, right? But more often than not, recently, before a student even fails once, I'll see and I'll hear that negative self-talk start to develop, where they'll be going through their training, their first 2 months of training, and they're all happy-go-lucky. And then we start talking and pre-framing and just kind of prepping them for their first exam. And we let them know that, hey, you're gonna need to apply yourself and try. Here's what is gonna be happening. And yes, you might not pass, but that's not wrong. And we have this big talk, right? And that's not my point of the video today. But more often than not nowadays, I'll see the students have that realization of, oh, I can fail. And their mindset shifts completely from just doing what they enjoy doing, just learning the stuff, practicing the stuff, to this almost like apprehensive, they don't want to. And I'm not sure if it's just being lazy, but the more I think about it and the more time passes, the more I don't think it is just laziness, because kids aren't naturally lazy. Kids want to just be out there doing stuff. They want to be active, and they have all this energy pent up. And my daughter's 7, so I know how it goes. She does not want to sit still very long, and it's impossible to get her to sit still even if she's sick. So kids, I don't think, are really naturally lazy. I think what it is that negative self-talk they either hear, or they have role models in their lives that they're watching and seeing, or the content they're consuming, or whatever it is, that they're too afraid to fail. It almost puts them in like that paralyzed, like deer in headlights type of phase, where they see and they hear that, uh-oh, there's a test. And that shuts them down completely, because I think the mindset, and again, this is just speculation, I think the mindset goes to, well, if I don't try, I can't really fail. If I don't really apply myself, then when I don't pass, or I don't win, or I don't get my A, or I don't do whatever the goal was, then I can always fall back on, well, yeah, but I didn't really try, so whatever. And whether that's a personal dialogue, like an internal dialogue, or something that they're speaking out to their group and their coaches and their role models and parents, I sense and I feel like that's something that's been happening. So just a little side note of why this talk is so important, especially for our younger generations out there. So parents of athletes, especially because they're going to be going through constant, testing and that possibility of failure. And we just want to remind them that failure is okay. That failure is part of life, and what they do with that failure is what defines them, not just, having that failure happen. All right. That's it for today, you guys. Thank you for being a part of these videos. If you guys like what you hear, like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm posting every week. Make sure you give this video a like as well, and share it with all of your friends. Just tell everyone that you think could benefit from it. Again, this is not just geared for my martial artists, even though this is a martial arts studio and I'm a martial arts instructor. This is just the knowledge that I've acquired and gained doing what I do for so long, that I feel like would be great to share with everybody out there. Just nowadays, I feel like some positive beacons of light in everyone's world can be a make or break for some people. So anyways, thank you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.